Prediction Markets Edge on the early line. Love to see it on a Tuesday here. Yesterday, we had a champion crowned in Michigan. Also had our guy Joe on the show talking about he, in the predictive markets, cashed in a nice little ticket with Michigan and rode it all the way to a championship, Joe. That's the angles that we like to see. It's down the right side. It's Joe Ranieri. Next half hour is ours. Prediction Markets Edge. We're right here, Joe.
We are, Donnie, and we are ready to go here. I love some of these markets coming up. Certainly, plenty of events that we can get into here. And I don't know, it's all about buying low, selling high with the prediction markets, and I think we can find a couple of spots for folks.
Absolutely. Miami and Toronto. Let's start in the association tonight in Toronto, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. If we take a look at Toronto, currently trading, Joe, as the favorite tonight at 52%. Miami, the dog, of course, at 48%. If we include the point spread, and you say, you know what? I think we're going to get a W here out of Toronto. They're going to win this game by 4+ points. That's currently trading at 42 cents, which means, Joe, a $100 investment pays back $239 if Toronto wins. Miami on the road to take on Toronto.
Yeah, and listen, it's been rough sledding for Toronto, right? Lost to Detroit, lost to Sacramento, got a win against Memphis, then got beat pretty good against Boston. Now they come home. And the Heat just dropped, 150 some odd points on Washington, 152. Both teams are rested. Both teams are ready to go. And considering some of the other lines on the board in a total perspective tonight, Donnie, this feels like a cheap number to me. This feels like it's a little light. I'm expecting a ton of points in this one as well. So I would only look at the over and maybe look for a guy like Emmanuel Quigley to have a big night, or, of course, Tyler Hero. I think those guys are poised to get some points on the board here.
High total this game tonight also. Bam Adebayo, 20+ points tonight, currently trading at 58 cents. Show $100 investment pays back 173 if Bam gets 20 or more. Different ways that you can invest your money. We give you those options here. Charlotte on the road to take on Boston. Real good game in the Eastern Conference, Joe. Boston is the favorite and currently trading at a 66% clip to win this game. Charlotte, the underdog, and a hot underdog, 34 cents. If you place a $100 investment down on Charlotte, they win this game outright. That pays back $295, Joe.
Yeah, it can't go wrong here. In fact, we have seen nothing but Charlotte money show up early here today. But keep in mind, again, Detroit clinched the East, the number 1 seed. And Boston, all right, they certainly have been rolling here, but so has Charlotte. Charlotte's still battling here to try and get themselves in the best position and maybe out of the play-in. Who knows? Only a couple of, games here that separate everybody. But this is another one that feels like, even though the total is starting to climb, I think the total is climbing in this game, Donnie, simply because is Boston really just going to lay it all out there to what? I think Boston is not going to take any chances in the remaining 3 games in the regular season. I think points are coming here, and that's exactly how I would look at this game. Give me the over.
Talked about Con Knippel going head-to-head with Cooper Flagg, maybe in that Rookie of the Year marketplace. If you think Con is a big game tonight, knocking down 4+ triples, a $100 investment, Joe, pays back $250 on Kalshi here. Let's go over to Phoenix. It's Houston taking on Phoenix. That's the Rockets and the Suns. Houston and Phoenix currently trading right now, Joe, live 50-50 in the marketplace. Shows you how close this is going to be. If we include a point spread and say I think Houston is going to win by a bucket or more, a $100 investment pays back $209. No juice and a little bit of plus money in your pocket. Houston at Phoenix tonight, Joe.
Yeah, well, it felt good, right, to come home for Phoenix. They lost on the road to Orlando. They lost on the road to Charlotte. They did beat, of course, the Bulls, but I think you and I could have beaten the Bulls. And they get to welcome, for the first time back since he left, Kevin Durant. They did play. Phoenix was home for Houston back in November, but he wasn't with them for that game. But he'll be here for this game, so it should be a packed crowd. We've seen this line flip from Houston to Phoenix, and I agree with it. I also agree with him having a really big night, as well as Devin Booker. I think those two guys battle it here tonight. I'd look at both their point props going up and over as well.
Let's flip it over to Major League Baseball tonight. Bring your ski caps, bring your gloves. It's going to be a cold one in the Steel City tonight. The San Diego Padres, used to warm temperatures, not going to be there tonight. This game we played for the majority of the game in the 30s, Joe. Paul Skeens also will be on the mound. So Pittsburgh currently trading as a favorite here on Kalshi at a 57% chance to win this game. San Diego, the underdog, at 43%. If we take a look at some strikeout props tonight, you can use the slider and say, I think Skeens is going for 8+ Ks tonight on the mound. $100 investment will pay back $278. But again, cold temperatures in the Steel City. How long will Skeens be on the mound? And also, how many runs could possibly be coming across the plate tonight, Joe?
Well, there weren't many last night, Donnie,
No.
right? As German Marquez shut down Pittsburgh, who left 10. I think they went 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. And it's not going to get any easier with Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres here. I'm with you. Temperature, by the time this game gets going, should be in the 30s. You got two guys that are really good at keeping the ball in the ballpark here. I think strikeout props and I think unders are in store for everybody, including team totals here, Donnie.
Yeah, see what happens in that marketplace here. Let's take a look at Milwaukee and Boston. They're going to take the field in Boston tonight at Fenway. Another cold temperature night. Taking a look at the updated lines here on Kalshi. Boston currently trading at a 57% chance to win this game. Milwaukee at 43%. So if you want the favorite in this game just to win it outright, 59 cents is what you're going to be paying on your contract. $100 investment, Joe, pays back $170 tonight. Milwaukee and Boston. Ooh, it's going to be chilly in Beantown.
Yeah, call me crazy, though. I don't trust either. Again, you score 4 runs without a ball leaving the infield. Something tells me I don't care who the pitcher is. Crochet, who, by the way, we've seen maybe a tick or two, slight velocity dip, especially in cold weather. Yeah, I think the Brewers can score some runs. I think the Red Sox can score some runs here. I'm looking for an over in this one.
Now, Joe, as we'd like to play out, we watched a clip on the early line this morning of Wilson Contreras upset that they're pitching him too tight, and this team just loves to keep plunking him, maybe from his days with the Chicago Cubs. They were a heated rival. How about tonight if maybe they have to stay away from Contreras, which means some of those balls that are supposed to be inside go to the middle of the plate? And also in the Kalshi marketplace, you get down on home run props, Joe. Wilson Contreras to go yard tonight.
Ooh.
$100 investment pays $715, Joe. Thinking outside the box over here.
Yeah, not a bad way to go. And I tell you, if you want to look at the walks market as well, in that case there, Miz is as good a strikeout guy he is, and they both average, him and Crochet, about the same per game here. But obviously, Crochet better command. There's been some control issues with Miz. Cold temperatures again, maybe his walks up and over that number here tonight as well.
Yeah. How about a nice little fade the public poll here on Kalshi? How about it? Simple question we asked this year at Augusta. A hole-in-one at the Masters, Joe? 2 answers that you can give. Yes and or no. Currently right now, 50-50 split, Joe, on will there be a hole-in-one at the Masters. I voted yes because I'm an optimist here. How did you vote in this poll here?
Yeah, I think there will be as well, Donnie. I think there's a good shot. I don't know what the numbers are over the last couple of years, but it feels like I remember certainly there being some balls here that are dropping in the holes. There are some very makeable, par threes there that aren't exactly the longest, so they'll have an opportunity for sure.
Number 4, Joe. Number 6, number 12, then Amen Corner, I believe is the 12th here, and 16. 16 is usually the fun one, Joe, where you get that little funnel. You saw the Tiger Woods chip shot that win at that point. That's probably has the best chance here because a lot of these holes are very tough. And even when you take a look, at number 12, you're hitting across the creek where so many people have lost Masters on that. But the goal isn't even to go with the flag. It's almost like just hit it left of the flag so you don't get caught up in the bunkers here. There's really only one hole that you have a legitimate chance, Joe, to make a hole-in-one at the Masters. Better make do, and that's on 16 at this point. We got a lot more to go. Radio and Prediction Markets Edge on the early line. Stick with us. Let's have some fun. Let's invest.
So much to get into.
So much to get into, so little time. Listen, this is a time of year where it's great basketball. Teams that have to be at their best. Some teams at their best for 40 minutes. Some teams at their best for 36 minutes. But at the end of the day, you got to play your best 40. Otherwise, you're going home like we saw over the last couple of days.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Why are all these contracts being signed, folks? Yes, the players are talented. Yes, they are deserving of it, but it's such goodwill to hand out these buyout arbitration contracts for these young players this time of the year, right before opening day, to get all their fans excited. And notice, right before the Pirates' home opener, not before opening day, before their home opener, to set up.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Kansas City trading as a favorite, Joe. Do we think that's the possibility of that first game?
Yeah, they should make it the Jets, Donnie, so they can guarantee a win in front of their fans to open up the set. I'm just saying. I mean, that's what I would do. But no, I mean, ideally the NFL would love a Kansas City reunion at Buffalo in the new stadium.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
There's a basketball player who's 7'9". He's insignificant on his team. And quite frankly, I don't know if he goes Division 1, 2, or 3 at this point and will be significant. Joe, how can you be 7'9" and not be able to get on the court in college basketball? Shouldn't he be maybe, I don't know, the most dominant shot blocker in the history? I watched Manute Bol be a really good player at times in the NBA.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Right back at it, Prediction Markets Edge on the Early Line. Donnie right side and Joe Ranier. It's Masters week, so why not? Some Masters topics here on the Prediction Markets, Joe. No other hotter topic than who's actually going to put on the green jacket this year. The leader in the clubhouse, at least trading on the predictive markets, of course. It's going to be Scotty Scheffler at 14%. John Rahm actually in second here, Joe and Kalshi at 8%, followed by Bryson DeChambeau and Rory McIlroy. If you do look at Bryson DeChambeau to win this and put the jacket on, Joe, a $100 investment pays back $1,429. The reason I bring up that pay rate right now is the simple fact is if you're looking on some of the other sports books now, they're currently listed at most options at around a 10-to-1 price. So always shopping around using these different markets makes a big difference. And for guys like Bryson DeChambeau, you can put an extra couple $100 in your pocket if they do win this tournament, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's all about buying at the right price, Donnie, and that's what we preach, right? Always about getting at the right price here. And I do think also, now pre-flop is nice, but again, when you're talking about a guy like Scotty Scheffler, you're talking about a guy that's always going to be the presumptive favorite. You can get a better price if he's not after round one the leader there. If he's somewhere, somewhere first page would be great, which is where he's been a lot of times in tournaments so far this year. So I do think that you have an opportunity to get Scotty at a better price as the tournament moves on. But I still think DeChambeau offers the best value. The guy's in the best form. His game fits this course, and he's been really close the last couple of years.
And also what Joe's pointing out here as well, the opposite can happen. You take that smaller contract ticket, and let's just say a Justin Rose has been performing very well. He's listed at 3%, Joe, which means a $100 investment would pay back $3,334 if he wins. But if Justin Rose is the leader after day number one, that 3% ticket goes to a 13% ticket, and you have the option to cash out just like it's a stock market option here. Always keep that in mind. You don't have to see these tickets all the way through. You just want to see it to maybe a price point that you had figured in your head that you would like to get to. The number that we asked and the question that we asked Joe here on Kalshi and also Polymarket was, will there be a hole-in-one at the Masters? It's actually trading right now, Joe, at a 55% chance. If you say yes, there will be a hole-in-one for the Masters tournament, that would pay back on Polymarket $179. But if you say to yourself, I want to take the no, pays even more at 46 cents. A $100 investment pays back $213, Joe. Hole-in-one or no?
Well, it's so funny. 34 hole-in-ones, Donnie, in the history of Augusta National since 1934, right? And that's it. And 24 of the 35 have happened at the 16th. So there you go. If it doesn't happen at the 16th, it's likely not happening. So when you're looking from 1934 and we're only looking at what as the price, 55 for yes, I might lean towards the no in this one here, Donnie.
Yeah, and that's the point of it here. Because wait a second, there's 4 par threes, there's 4 chances, there's hundreds of shots here. Joe just laid out, and we told you there's really only one shot to go at it. The other par threes are basically just don't get yourself in trouble, which means you're not flag hunting at this point. We'll see how it plays out, but everybody always cheers for hole-in-ones, and you figure there'd be probably one at least every other year. That's not been the case here at this point here. We'll see if they can get one this year, but if you bet the no, you actually get plus money. See if that happens here. How about the Masters end of round 1 leader? Now, typically you take a look and say to yourself, as Joe pointed out, hey, Scheffler might not get started hot, but he might win this thing. This is an interesting market because you're looking at maybe going 4, 5, or 6 under, depending on what the conditions are. And sometimes we see I don't want to say a no-name guy up top, but hey, we didn't expect this guy to win it, and then slowly fades away on Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday. Or, Joe, could it be Scotty Scheffler currently trading as the favorite at around a 7% chance to actually be the round 1 leader?
Yeah, I don't think there's any value in Scott. He has not been a good opening round score yet this year, I think, in a tournament. So it's been rough for him. But for a market like this, I'm going to want to go down the board a little bit here. Guys that have had success here that you don't trust for 4 rounds, Don. But you trust for maybe can come out firing. What about a guy like Jordan Spieth? Who knows it better than he does with his green jacket? At that price point there, I could see him coming out and all of a sudden having a very, common name. Tommy Fleetwood, Cameron Young. These are guys at good prices, Donnie, that without a doubt currently could absolutely come out being on top after round 1.
It's a good point here because even a guy that might be struggling here just gets it together for that first round. You're taking a look at a guy who's won multiple championships here. Brooks Koepka trading at 7%, Joe. $100 investment on Koepka would pay back $770. And also, can't stress this enough, if your guy is in one of those early tee times here, 7 a.m., and by the time he finishes here, he's the leader in the clubhouse, that ticket is probably going to be immensely higher than what you got in at with the chance to cash in as if it was a stock option as well. Let's get to some other stuff here. Off the course for a guy who thought might be on the course, that's Tiger Woods. Trump pardon Tiger Woods by June the 30th here. There's a 5% chance, which means the yes market on Poly Market would actually pay you back on a $100 investment, Joe, close to $2,000. He can't pardon Tiger Woods by June 30th. Like, you got to let this thing play out, and Tiger will handle it with his lawyers. But that would be incredible. Like, I can't play in, let's just say, the British Open unless I get pardoned at this point. I don't think it's happening, but an interesting topic nonetheless.
He hasn't even been convicted of anything. What are we pardoning him for? Like, he's not, and I can assure you, this thing ain't running in front of a judge anytime soon. So, no, absolutely not. Not happening here. There will be no pardoning for a guy that hasn't been convicted yet.
Yeah, hold on, though, Joe. In the political landscape, as we've seen last time, Biden exited the office. He goes, you know what? My family hasn't committed any crimes. They're getting a future pardon. It's like the get-out-of-jail card. Like if you know a policeman here, it's like, hey, got pulled over. Here's the gold card, and they take it from me, but it's like a get-out-of-jail-free card. Could he give Tiger that? Like, hey, Tiger, can't get you out of this one, but here's your pardon for the next one that you might get. That might be included, but also understand this. It's by June 30th. I doubt Tiger's going to get pulled over again for a DUI that he needs to get pardoned for or get out of jail free card. I don't think it happens by June 30th. Could it happen in the future? Maybe so, Joe.
Yeah, it could very well happen in the future, Donnie, but we got to see him actually, get in front of the judge, play it out. I don't know if he'll plead or I can promise you the attorneys will get to it, might pardon him before Trump has to do anything even of that sort. So still, it's a no for me.
By the way, Joe, did you know here on Polymarket, it was trading at 35% on April the 2nd, and certainly it has dropped down now to around 5% at this point. We'll see what plays out. And also, do we know if Tiger Woods has left the country yet to go to rehab and how that process is going as well, and statements need to be made? So will he pardon Tiger Woods? Doesn't look like it here. We'll be right back. Prediction Markets rolls on. NFL draft is coming up at the end of this month. And you say, well, yeah, that should be a good time. And it is going to be in Pittsburgh. So why not some Pittsburgh topics? And are the Pittsburgh Steelers possibly going to be drafting a quarterback as their future? Because the question on Kalshi comes up, Joe Ranieri. Will Aaron Rodgers retire before the 2026-2027 season? Currently trading as a yes at only a 24% chance. But a few short weeks ago, Joe, March 14th, we were trading at a 51.5% chance of him possibly retiring. I don't think he does, but apparently he wants some money, Joe. So do you think there's a chance that Aaron Rodgers will not play a football game again for the rest of his career and retires before the start of the season?
Well, the Steelers better hope not, right?
That's
Because
true.
the Steelers have passed on just about every other veteran quarterback option that has been available here. I mean, Tua, Kyler, Murray, Fields, Geno, all guys off the market now. So it does feel like their eggs are all in the Aaron Rodgers basket, but he's 42 years old. He's a free agent. He's a year-to-year guy. There is the retirement risk here, but at this point, the way the Steelers are acting, it feels like they believe he's on his way back. So I hope for their sake he is, but boy, oh boy, there's always that risk with Aaron Rodgers that he wakes up and he's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm good. Thanks, though, guys.
Pittsburgh's Week 1 starting quarterback from March 10th all the way up to March 23rd. It was Aaron Rodgers, currently trading at a 99% chance. Something happened the next day, which dropped it down to 65%. And you see him currently right now at around 70%. I still think he will be that starting quarterback here, but this thing might get slow played. You probably will have your answer before the draft actually takes place. If he decides he's going to retire, not going to be left out in the cold with, maybe we didn't want this guy or we're going to draft a quarterback at this point. I suspect you hear some topics here over the next couple weeks on that. Another question in the NFL of who's going to be the starting quarterback in week number 1 and which franchise? It's those Miami Dolphins here. Certainly not going to be Tua Tagovailoa anymore. It could be Quinn Ewers. It could be Malik Willis. And by the way, Quinn Ewers, Joe, actually trading at an 80% chance to be the week 1 starting quarterback. Why did you go and get Malik Willis then? What's going on in this market?
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on there. I mean, they just signed him to a 3-year deal and explicitly calling him their presumptive starting quarterback for the 26th season. So I do not have any idea why this is even a market, unless you think maybe he's hurt or something along those lines. But yeah, no, I definitely think Malik Willis is your QB1 in Miami.
Yeah, not a lot of market flow in this, but also understand this. He's currently trading at a 72% chance, but his yes number for a contract is 99 cents here. So a $100 investment will pay back 102. They're basically saying he's going to be the starter regardless of what the chances are coming out here on the marketplace. Pro football players to be traded, Joe. And I got to tell you, starting to come around here in Philadelphia that A.J. Brown just might be on the move. And the reason being is here, he's listed at 75%. It's too quiet right now, Joe. If a player really wanted to be moved, they might just say, hey, look, you know that June 1 date. Just settle in. Don't pull an AB out here. We'll get you to that place. The deal has already been handshaking on, and we'll get you out of here. That's what I'm worried about, Joe. But A.J. Brown at 75% with a chance to be traded.
Achane as well as another guy with the Dolphins. Brian Thomas Jr., another guy, wide receiver there with the Jags, who, let's face it, now they've got Jacoby Myers, they got Washington, they got a few other guys on that team now, especially coming back. And I don't know, is Keon Coleman going? Sam Laporta, we're hearing, could also be traded. So there are some big name guys very familiar, not just A.J. Brown, that could absolutely have some value in this market.
April 1st at 6 a.m., Joe. A.J. Brown, chance to get traded, 19.4%. A.J. Brown today, 75%. Somebody must know something, or maybe they're just inflating that market here to come in on the opposite side. We'll find out. Chicago, pro football team, relocation. Love this topic, as the Bears have been telling you. We're going to make our mind up here in the spring, which means, hey, Illinois, hey, Chicago, you better up your ante because we're using Indiana for leverage. But how about this? A new location in Illinois, which means obviously not Soldier Field where it is. That's currently trading at a 67% chance. Indiana moving an entire state away, that's 33%. Do not relocate or announce a relocation, that's 8%, which means, you know what? We're happy with Soldier Field. Nothing else more to see here, Joe. I think they stay in Illinois. I'm willing to go with the 67% chance that they stay there.
Is there a date associated with this one, Donnie? Is it? Do we have a certain
yes.
time?
If the Chicago Pro Football Team relocates or officially announces a relocation to a new location in Illinois by the first game of the 2028 football season,
Wow.
Joe. Not even this year. They're giving you some time.
They're actually giving you some time here, and boy, can you... I find it hard to believe that they would let them leave and move to a different state, and I really do, Donnie. It would be... no, but nothing would shock me.
Relocate or officially relocate, relocate and relocate. That's what the Bears are going to do. We'll be back tomorrow for another edition right here.